Okay, our next topic is the tissue culture. We have studied the cell culture in the last video lecture. Now, this cell culture and tissue culture, although they all comes under the plant tissue culture techniques, but they are significantly different from the one another. Under the cell culture, we generally tends to use the single cell, and from this single cell, the whole new plant is created. And there is very specificity during the process of this single cell culture. Now, on the very similar lines, but there are some steps which are different in the process of tissue culture, because here instead of using the single cell, what we are using the tissue from the cell. So tissue from the plant. Okay. So tissue culture is basically the technique which comes under the plant tissue culture, just like the cell culture. So we have to understand what is the meaning of a tissue culture and what is the process which is followed in the tissue culture. All right. Now consider this is your syllabus. We are dealing with the paper number 1 and the chapter number 5, that is morphogenesis. And here we are understanding the tissue culture. Firstly, we have understood the cell culture. Then after that, we are going to understand the organ and the protoplast culture. So all these four types of the different culture we should understand carefully, and we should know what is the basic difference between these four types of the culture. Okay, and that is why it becomes very important. Just like the cell culture, you should carefully understand the tissue culture as well. Right? Consider the introductory slide. See, tissue culture is actually the collection of different techniques. See, here when we talk about the plant tissue culture or tissue culture, it is not the one process, but it is the collection of the processes. Okay, different types of processes which are comes under this particular plant tissue culture. This tissue culture yields the different results for the every process. That is, it will all depend on what you want to achieve in the plant tissue culture. Depending upon that, there are the many different techniques which comes under the tissue culture. Now here what we basically do, we isolate the cells first. We can isolate the cells, we can isolate the tissues, we can isolate the organs, and what we do, we grow them in vitro. Here in vitro means we are doing it artificially in the lab. Okay, generally in vivo, this technique, this word is used for the natural growth and development, and in vitro it is used for the growth and development within the controlled condition, that is within the lab. Okay, so basically we can take the cell from the plant, we can take the tissue from the plant, we can take the organs from the plant, and we can grow them in vitro under the controlled condition, that is under the plant tissue culture laboratory, and we can create the whole new plants out of it by using a particular solid or a liquid nutrient medium. And you know, we have talked much about this liquid medium, solid or liquid medium, which is generally we use the MS media, in which all the growth nutrients, all the vitamins, all the hormones are present in an accurate quantity, so that the plant can absorb these types of the chemical compounds from this media and can complete its growth and development within the lab. Okay, so basically we can isolate the cells, tissue, organs from the plant, and we can grow them in vitro on the liquid or the solid medium. And very importantly, there should be the aseptic condition, that is, there should be the sterilized condition, so that there will not be any bacterial infection, there will not be any fungal infection, or there will not be any viral infection in the plants. As you know, in detail we have studied the different types of diseases which are caused by the bacteria, fungus, and the viruses. All these diseases can actually destroy the many cultures which are present within the plant tissue culture laboratory, and hence it becomes very apparent that we should maintain the aseptic condition within the plant tissue culture laboratory, and this aseptic condition will allow a disease-free environment. Okay, in a disease-free environment, plants can grow in a very healthy way. Now, not only the aseptic conditions, we also have to give the controlled conditions of the light, humidity, and the temperature. Just like the plant which is growing in the wild, they have the very some amount of the light, some amount of the humidity, and some amount the optimum amount of the temperature. All these things which are naturally get by the plants in view, we also have to provide these types of the conditions in vitro as well. But just what we do here, we provide the controlled condition. For example, if the plant requires the light, we will provide the 8 hours light depending upon the plant species. Okay, now if the plant species requires 8 hours light, or the 9 hours light, or the 12 hours light, depending upon that, we will provide the light condition in the plant tissue culture laboratory. On the very similar lines, we can also control the humidity in the plant tissue culture lab as well as the temperature in the plant tissue culture lab. Okay, and for achieving the different objectives, we are controlling all of this in the plant tissue culture techniques. Okay, so basically tissue culture or the plant tissue culture is the combination of many techniques, and in this particular techniques, what we do basically, we take the part of the plant, and we from that part of the plant we can create the whole new plant in the plant tissue culture laboratories. Okay, now consider the plant tissue culture is based on the principle of totipotency. Yes, of course, without totipotency you cannot imagine the plant tissue culture technique, because totipotency is the ability of a living cell to get grow, divide and redivide to give rise, ultimately give rise to the whole new plant. So without the totipotency, you cannot do the plant tissue culture techniques, because if the cell do not have the totipotency, that is ability to divide and redivide and convert into the whole new plant, these particular cells which are going to create the whole new plant due to the possession of the totipotency, makes them a very good plant material for the plant tissue culture purpose, because they possess the very right kind of ability to get divide and redivide in under the artificial condition. So here what we have to understand, without totipotency you cannot imagine the plant tissue culture, because without the ability of a cell to divide and redivide further, these cells cannot get converted to the whole new plant. So basically the all techniques relating with the plant tissue culture are totally dependent on the totipotency which is shown by the cell or tissue which is present within the plant body. Now, basically, which type of the steps which are involved in the plant tissue culture, that we are now going to understand. We will go stepwise. Okay, in and all there were the 10 steps through which this particular process of a plant tissue culture grows, and these steps we should understand them carefully, because in the UPSC mains generally they will ask you some of the steps which are relating with this particular plant tissue culture. Okay, so let us consider the very first step. See, in the first step, what we do is the cleaning of the glasswares and the sterilization of the glasswares and the instruments in the oven or the autoclave. As you know, in the oven and autoclave, both of these instruments were used for the high temperature. Okay, what they possess, they has the ability to create the high temperature environment. So the temperature which can go up to the 100 degrees Celsius can clean all of the bacteria and the fungal or the viral infections which are present within these particular glasswares. So whatever the glasswares we are using for the plant tissue culture, first we have to clean these glasswares, and we should sterilize these glasswares by using the ovens or the autoclave, where the high temperature treatment is given to these glasswares. So not only the explant we are sterilizing here, we are also sterilizing the various types of the glasswares or the instrument which are used in the plant tissue culture technique. So during the plant tissue culture, the very first step we do is the cleaning of the glasswares. What we do, we clean the glassware, we sterilize the glassware by using the oven or the autoclave. As you know, these types of the beakers and the various types of the flask, then the various types of the test tubes, all these things are required in the plant tissue culture. So all of these are collectively cleaned, and they were collectively sterilized by using the oven and autoclave, so that there will not be any chances of the fungal or the bacterial infections due to these glasswares. Okay, first in the very first step we should sterilize the glassware which are going to use in this particular plant tissue culture technique. Now in the second process, in the second step, what we do, there is a selection and the preparation of the nutrient medium. That is, we should select first which type of the medium which are going to create, because depending upon the plant material there will be the different kinds of the media. For example, the MS media is a one kind of media, but depending upon the plant material we can create the different types of the medium. Okay, so first we have to select the which type of the nutrient media you are going to create, and then accordingly you should create the medium. Okay, generally the MS medium is largely used for the plant with the known concentrations and the proportions of the different component. Now whenever you say the MS media, this particular MS media gives all the information relating with which type of the chemical required in a which amount. For example, if you want to add the vitamins, then the exact quantity of a vitamin is given in the MS media charts. Then if you want to add the hormones, then how much quantity of hormone is required, that too is mentioned. So basically every kind of the nutrient quantity is mentioned in the standard charts of the MS media, and by using the standard charts you can create the media. Okay, by using the flow chart which is given for the preparation of the MS media. So this is the ready reckoner which is already created. Just we have to take the water and rest of the mineral, vitamins and the nutrients to create this particular MS media. So just like in the first step we have cleaned all of the glasswares, in the second step you should select the media and create the media accordingly. Okay, with the known concentrations and proportions of the different component which is exactly required by the plants for the growth and development. Then in the third step, what we do the sterilization of a medium itself. Okay, whatever the media you have created in the second step, this media too require the sterilization, because if the media is contaminated, the whole process is going to contaminate, because this media, in this particular media we are going to plant the explant. So if the media is contaminated, this particular explant will automatically get contaminated. Okay, so the sterilization of a medium is required in the autoclave for the continuous of 20 minutes under the constant pressure of 15 lb inch square. Okay, so basically these parameters are used to sterilize the medium, and what we do the autoclaving of the media. Okay, this is the autoclave, and inside this autoclave we sterilize this particular medium so that there will not be any infection which is present in the medium. It will automatically get removed. Okay, and now once we sterilize the glasswares and we have created the media and sterilized the media, we can go for the fourth step. Okay, so in the first step, what we have created the sterilized glasswares. Then by using the sterilized glasswares, we have created the media in the second step, and in the third step we have sterilized this media too. Okay, now in the fourth step there is a preparation of the material which is called as the explant. Okay, now once we have created the media, now this media is kept aside now, and now we will focus on the explant. Okay, we should collect the explant from the plant. Okay, whatever the plants are there, whatever the plant material you have selected to recreate them in the plant tissue culture laboratory, we should collect the explant from these plants. Okay, now these explants, it will include the isolation of explant, which is followed by the surface sterilization by rinsing with the water. Okay, so basically here what we do, we collect the explant and we do the surface sterilization. Okay, this explant, for example, you have collected such a kind of explant, and whatever the surface of it is there, this surface may carry the bacterial or the viral or the fungal pathogens. Okay, so all of these we should carefully remove them by doing the sterilization. Now from this point you will come to know why the process of sterilization is very much involved in the plant tissue culture, because basically everything we do in the plant tissue culture, everything we have to sterilize. Okay, basically you have to sterilize the glasswares, you have to sterilize the media, you have to sterilize the explant. So everything is required in a sterilized form. Why? Because there is a easy catching of the diseases like the bacterial, viral or the fungal, and if you want disease-free medium, you should sterilize each and everything which is used in the plant tissue culture laboratory. And that is why we also sterilize the explant. With surface sterilization is done with the rinsing of the water, and then this explant is obtained from the growing stock of the plant. So basically the explant is obtained and this explant is sterilized for using in the further process of the plant tissue culture. So now we have the ready-made glasswares, now we have the ready-made media, now we have ready the explant as well. Now the actual process of plant tissue culture can be started in the laboratory. Okay, so consider the fifth step. In the fifth step, what we do is the inoculation of the explant in the culture flask. Okay, so generally we take the flask. Okay, this particular flask already contains the medium, growth medium. You should carefully remember we have already sterilized this flask. Okay, and we have already sterilized this medium as well, right? And we have already sterilized this explant as well. Now we will inoculate this explant on the in the culture flask containing the sterilized nutrient medium. So basically you can put your explant here. Now you should carefully remember all of these three things: this flask, this media, and this explant, all are sterilized. So there is no chances of the bacterial, fungal or the viral infections. Okay, so what we do in the fifth step, we take all of these, that is the glassware. Inside the glassware we have the medium, and in the medium we inoculate the explant. Okay, so that this explant will grow in this particular medium. Okay, now inoculation is done with the laminar airflow cabinet unit. Now this is very important, that the laminar airflow cabinet unit is there. It is the particular kind of unit. Inside this particular unit we can do this particular inoculation. Now how we do that? Now inside the whatever the atmosphere which is present within this particular inoculation medium, this particular environment do not contain any kind of the bacterial, fungal or viral infection, because there is a different types of the radiations which are used in this particular laminar airflow, and this particular laminar airflow shows the presence of disease-free environment. And that is why if you want to do the inoculation, you should not do this in open air. Okay, because air also contains the bacterial, viral or the fungal agents. Okay, so basically what we use the laminar airflow. Inside this particular laminar airflow we will take the flask. Okay, we will pour the growth medium, and then we can inoculate the explant into this particular laminar airflow. Okay, so that everything will remain the disease free. So here there is a paramount importance to the laminar airflow cabinet unit as well, because this particular cabinet unit will give you the disease free environment which can be used for the inoculation of the explant. Okay, so in the fifth step, what we do the inoculation of the explant. Now in the sixth step, inoculation of the inoculated explants, right? See here, the cells of the explant grow, proliferate and form the callus within 2 to 3 weeks. Now, after the inoculation, this particular explant will absorb the nutrient media which is present in the flask. Okay, and after absorbing this nutrient media, this explant will proliferate. These explants will proliferate and will create the mass of a cells which is called as the callus. Okay, just like that, the callus is got formed, the undifferentiated mass of cell will got created within the 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, by the 2 to 3 weeks, you will find there is a complete formation of the callus by using the nutrient medium which is present in that particular flask. Okay, of course, conditions are provided that there will not be any bacterial infection, there will not be any fungal infection, or there will not be any viral infection. If there are these infection, these complete media will got wasted. Okay, but basically we have sterilized everything, and due to this sterilization we know that there will not be any bacterial, fungal or the viral infection. Okay, so after 2 to 3 weeks, if you have inoculated these particular explant on the medium, and within 2 to 3 weeks you will come to know there is a formation of the callus. Okay, so basically in the sixth step, the callus will grow in the nutrient medium. Now in the seventh step, what we do, there is a subculturing of the callus. Now this is very important step. Now what we do in the subculturing, see, the callus is to be maintained for the longer period. If you want to remain this callus for the longer period, what we should do, see, the callus is divided into 3 to 4 segments and then transferred to the fresh culture medium. Now here, if there is a complete formation of undifferentiated mass of cell, this undifferentiated mass of cell is divided into the 3 to 4 growth, 3 to 4 say callus. Okay, so small callus can you can say it the small callus. Okay, so you divide the main callus into the 4 to 5 small calluses and transfer it to the different fresh medium, so that there will be more and more plants at the end of the process. Okay, because from this one callus there is only the one whole new plant will get created, but if you divide this callus into the 4 to 5 smaller callus, and then you transfer this 4 to 5 different callus into the different flask containing the fresh nutrient media, there will be 5 different plants which will get created out of this single callus. Okay, so basically subculturing of the callus is the dividation of the callus into 3 to 4 segments, and these 3 to 4 segments can be transferred to the different flask which contains the fresh nutrient medium. So there will be the more number of plants at the end of the process. Okay, so in the seventh step, what we do after the formation of callus, in the sixth step, in the seventh step, we will subculture this callus, and this subculturing of the callus will ultimately increase the number of plants at the end of the process. Okay, now in the eighth step, what will happen? See, the initiation of the rooting and shooting will take place under the process of organogenesis. Now, organogenesis, this word literally means the formation of the organ, organo and the genesis. Organo means organ and the genesis means to create. So here, basically, what will happen, whatever the calluses, subculturing of calluses we have done, all of these subculturing of the calluses were present in the different flask or the beaker. Now here, the organogenesis will occur, and this organogenesis will create the roots and the shoots. That is, the root part and the shoot part will got created within this particular beaker or the flask. Okay, that will eventually leads to the plantlet formation. So here you can say that there is a formation of the plantlet. So initiation of the rooting and shooting is nothing but the organogenesis, because roots and shoots can be considered as the organ of the plant, and the organogenesis occurs in the eighth step, and these organogenesis, that is the rooting and shooting of the plant, will ultimately leads to the plantlet formation. Okay, now in the ninth step, what we do after there is a plantlet formation, these plantlets are transferred to the polythene bags. See, very important, you should remember it carefully, because in the UPSC mains, each and every step you have to mention, you have to define it very accurately. Okay, so the plantlets which are formed in the eighth step, they are transferred to the polythene bags which are containing the sterilized soils. Okay, what they have, these polythene bags will have the sterilized soil. Okay, so we take the polythene bag, and inside the polythene bag we will put the soil. But remember, this soil should also be sterilized. Okay, so that there will not be any diseases to the plant, because this a small plantlet is still susceptible for the diseases. Okay, so here the polythene bag is taken, and inside this polythene bag there is a sterilized soil, and these sterilized soils, it kept the low light and the high humid condition for the suitable period of time. Okay, what we do, we keep this in under the low light condition and the high humid condition, so that there will not be any chance of the infection. Okay, and there will be the growing of placing of these plantlets into this particular polythene bag. Okay, so basically these are plantlets which are created in the plant tissue culture lab. Here inside here you can see how the plantlet is got created within this beaker. Now these plantlets are got transferred to the polythene bags which contains the sterile soil. Okay, this soil is quite a sterile soil, and this sterile soil is actually responsible for giving some of the different conditions exposure to these plantlets, so that these plantlets can get adaptive strategy for these particular soil condition. Okay, before transferring them to the field directly, we will expose these particular plantlets which grow in the plant tissue culture to the soil within the plant within the polythene bag. Okay, we will use the polythene bag, we will pour sterilized soil into it, and then we will place plantlet into these polythene bags. Okay, so that these plantlets will get exposure to the soil condition. Okay, so and this particular step is called as the hardening. Okay, and this particular hardening process is also very important from the UPSC mains examination point of view, because sometimes these individual processes like the organogenesis and the hardening etc can also be used by the it can also be asked by the UPSC. Okay, then after that in the final step we transfer these plantlets to the field. Okay, we will do the hardening. See here the control soil condition is there and hardening can be done, and after the hardening these plantlets can be transferred to the field. Okay, that is directly to the environment where they can grow into the bigger plants. So in this way the many plants, for example, if we have created the 100 plants, then we have done the hardening in the 100 plants, and then we can transfer the 100 plants to the field where they can grow into the bigger and bigger plants. Okay, so in this way through these 10 processes we can do the plant tissue culture technique, in which right from the one single X plant we can create the hundreds of the plants, and these hundreds of the plants can later grow into the field. Okay, so this is how there is a whole process of the plant tissue culture. So this is all about this topic. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Please like this video, share this video with your friends who are studying the botany, and if you haven't subscribed to the Botany After channel yet, please subscribe to the Botany After channel for UPSC examination. Again, thank you very much for giving your time. See you in the next video lecture. Thank you.